Good morning, everybody, and welcome to our High Certificate in Short-Term Insurance online open week session. Today, I have with me some amazing people from the Short-Term Insurance Department, and we are really excited to get started with you. I have with me Marissa, who is our program coordinator. I have Tracy, who is our program manager. And I have Wesley, who is also a lecturer on the program as well. Just before we get started, guys, there are a few housekeeping rules I'll need to go through with you just before, just so everybody knows where things are. On the right-hand side of the screen, we have a chat box. Please say hello, put a smiley face in. I will, just so you can say hello, where you're from, give us a hi, give us a wave, let us know that you're there. We really are excited to get started with you. At the bottom of your screen, there is a poll live. If you'd like more information after the session, if you want an email from us, if you want us to just pop you some fact sheets and more information on timetables and things like that, that's where you need to give us a yes, and we'll contact you after this session. If you have any questions for our lovely speakers as they roll through these fantastic slides, please pop a question in the Ask a Question facility, and we will get through it at the designated Q&A sessions during the session. But for now, I'm going to say toodle from me, but I will hand over to Marissa, who will take us through the beginning of the presentation. Over to you, Marissa.
Thank you so much, Michaela. So guys, from my side, a very warm welcome to our open day for the Higher Certificate in Short-Term Insurance. As Michaela said, I'm the program coordinator, and I am then in charge of all the qualifications, the short-term qualifications at MyMedPack. So it is my absolute honor to host you guys. On the next slide, I just want to go through a little bit about who we are, where we fit in the bigger scheme of things. So MyMedPack itself is part of the Stadio Group, which is a JSE listed company. There's 5 schools that form part of it, and MyMedPack and AFDA is then running separately. And in MyMedPack, we have then 5 schools as well. Where we have our business school, our school of commerce, financial planning and insurance, where we are our investment and banking, and also our college. On the next page, so MyMedPack was established in 1997, so we have been doing this for quite some time. We have qualifications ranging from certificates and up to a doctorate level, which we are very proud of. It's our DBA. We also we have a campus in Melville and Johannesburg, and we have offices in Cape Town. But at the moment with COVID, most of us are working from home, but it has been a very smooth transition to go online with everything. So the main thing for us, and especially for us as the short-term insurance school, is that we want to provide higher education for Africa, to enhance people. I saw the unemployment statistics the other day, and I went to look at it a little bit deeper. And I was so impressed that for people with higher education and tertiary qualification, the unemployment rate is a mere 2%. So it is absolutely essential for everyone to do, if a tertiary qualification, to get yourself out there. So on the next slide, just some of the qualifications then in our specific school. We have the certificate in financial products, which is on the NQF level 4. Then on 5, we have financial planning, financial products, and short-term insurance. On our advanced certificates, we also have financial planning and short-term insurance. Then we also have a BCom and a postgraduate diploma in financial planning. So guys, it is my great honor to introduce you to Wesley van Wyk next, who is the program oversight owner for the higher certificate, and he will go into more detail on this qualification for you. Thank you.
Thank you, Marissa, and good morning to everybody. Thank you for the opportunity also. I'm happy to be with you guys here, and albeit online now, but it's very exciting times. We're not going to let COVID get us down, so we adapt to the times, and that's why I'm very excited that we're going to have a very first online open day, and it's great to be with you guys. Like Marissa rightfully said, I'm Wesley, and I'm one of the lecturers, and I am responsible also for the high certificate in the short-term insurance. So this morning, everybody, I just want to talk a little bit about what is on offer and what you can expect if you are going to study with us, which I hope is going to be the case. And I'm very excited about that. So we're firstly going to talk about the program purpose. What is the purpose of studying with a high certificate in short-term insurance? Basically, in a nutshell, is The higher certificate in short-term insurance will equip you as a student, if you're going to study with us, to understand what is required from you if you are going to work in the short-term insurance field. What is expected, that you need to know the different legislations, and that you are able to go out into the market, whether you're working as a broker, whether you're an underwriter for an insurance company, whether you're working in claims, that you can at least have an idea and to equip you with the necessary knowledge to go to the client and in the underwriting field, that you know how to apply that. But you also need to understand what is expected in the legislation in the South African insurance environment also. Furthermore, if you're going to study with us, you will be also equipped, and you will be able then at the end of the day to provide the necessary short-term insurance services across the field. And that includes in the personal lines and the commercial lines insurance. Because I think you can agree with me that once you sit in front of a client, or you work as an underwriter, you work as a manager, and people come to you for advice, that you at least know what is expected from you and what is our insurance industry about, that you have that necessary knowledge, that you can apply that knowledge in the short-term insurance market. Another benefit, if you're going to study with us, is that once you've successfully completed the course with us, there is accreditation, and which is the good news about this, everyone. The accreditation is, once you've successfully studied with us, the high certificate in short-term insurance, you can apply for a professional membership of the Insurance Institute of South Africa, and that is a biggie in the market, I can tell you that much. You'll then have the designation in the category of licentiate of the Insurance Institute of South Africa, which is good, and that is absolutely, I can tell you this much, I've been in the industry for just over 2 decades now, and it's really, it's a wonderful feeling, and it's really, people are, when you go into the market, people recognize this. You can actually write next to your name that you are a licentiate of the Insurance Institute of South Africa. Another important accreditation also that we recently negotiated is an international accreditation, and this actually distinguishes us from the rest of the other institutions as such. Is you'll get a recognition of prior learning, very important there, a recognition of prior learning with the International Charter Insurance Institute, which is the CII, which is situated in London. And that includes the designation of certificate of CII. However, just very important here, you'll get the recognition of prior learning. The one requirement is, in order to get that designation, is that you just have to complete one additional module that is being offered by CII. But I can tell you this much, everybody, that once you've done that, you'll also get that designation. And once again, this is being recognized in the short-term insurance field, and that you can also write next to your name. We will give you that accreditation also. If we can go to the next slide. So what are the outcomes if you are going to study with us? And once again, I hope that you are going to join us on this journey. Once you've done the once you've successfully completed the qualification as a student, you should be able then, like I said earlier, to apply the knowledge, what you've gained as a student, what you've learned with us, that you can actually apply it in the short-term insurance environment. Once again, we're going to talk about the legislation. There are some modules that go into a bit of detail with that. Some of the modules that's an offer, but we can talk about that a little bit later. What is also very important is that you need to understand on the compliance side, that if you sit in front of your client, what you need to do, what is expected from you as a broker, as an underwriter, as a claims underwriting manager, what are those ethics and the compliance that is necessary, that you need to apply, that you need to do a financial needs analysis for a client, that you need to know how to go forward on that. We will also then equip you that you are able to examine the nature of the short-term insurance environment in South Africa, and what is that all about, because after all, we are working in a professional environment. It's expected by legislation that we work according to the rules and the regulation. Also important, we will study and we go into detail about the structure of short-term insurance. We will discuss who are the necessary role players. We will also go into detail about what are the needs of the consumer, that you can advise a consumer, that you need to give the right advice, and that you need to have the necessary record and keep that once you're given an advice to the client, that if there's any complications or issues afterwards, that at least you know how to advise your client also. Not only that you need to know the understanding of the legislation, but you need to apply that knowledge also. We're also going to go a little bit into detail about the risk management principles, We're going to touch a bit about the reinsurance practices, what is expected there. If a client with a very expensive vehicle comes to you and as an insurer, underwriter, what are the processes that you need to know to follow if you as an insurer need to arrange your reinsurance on that. We're also going to have a look at the underwriting principles, and also very important, a proposal form. What is expected from you in the information that you need to get from the client in order to underwrite a risk. And then obviously apply the principles of a client relationship management in a compliant manner, that if there are any issues, like I said earlier, that you need to follow the right processes, what is expected from you to solve that, and what advice can you give to the client at the end of the day in the context of short-term insurance. So I am very happy that I have also with me staff that is going to support you on this journey. And like I said earlier, I'm very excited that you are going to hopefully enroll for the course. So I'm the program oversight owner of the High Certificate of Short-Term Insurance. And then we have the program manager, the lovely Tracy Joseph, who's going to speak to us a little bit later, and she's going to tell us what her role entails. Then obviously I'm the lecturer, and Marissa, who introduced her early on, is also one of the lecturers. So we basically your team that is going to guide you on this journey. So we've got your backs, and we're very excited, and hopefully that you are going to join us on this lovely journey. So if we can just touch a little bit on the modules that's in offer of the Higher Certificate of Insurance. There are certain compulsory modules that is expected if you are going to enroll for the course that you have to do in semester 1 and semester 2. And then there's some elective modules also. The compulsory modules that's going to be on offer is the first 4, which is your personal lines insurance. That is a module of 25 credits, which we'll do in semester 1 and semester 2. And I will be your lecturer on the journey. Then, like I said earlier, we're also going to go a little bit into the legislation of the short-term insurance, and that we're going to be dealing with on the legal framework. Very interesting module there. That's why we made it compulsory, so that you can understand how you need to apply the legislation in the short-term insurance. That comes towards a credit of 25. We also do that in semester 1 and semester 2. And then another module that's also compulsory is the commercial lines, which we're also going to touch a little bit into detail of what is expected and what you can expect from the module there. That is once again also being done in both semesters. And then the other compulsory module is a risk management, which is a very interesting one because we go into detail there and we touch about what is a different risk management, what is expected if you are a surveyor, how the processes that you need to follow if you are going to do risk management for a company or for a business, whatever the case might be. That is also being offered in both semesters, in semester 1 and semester 2. And I am the lecturer on all 4 of these compulsory modules. Can we go to the next one, please? The business management is Marissa. Marissa will touch a little bit in detail about that, what you can expect and what you can actually learn if you are going to do the business management. This is an elective. Like I said, this is not a compulsory one. So once you have your 4 compulsory modules, there's 2 electives that you can choose, and business management is one of them. Now, the difference here with business management, if you are going to choose it, it's going to be offered in both semesters, which is semester 1 and 2, and that will be offered, like I said, by the lecturer Marissa. Then we have construction insurance, which is another elective, also very interesting one, which we're going to touch on a little bit later. If you do decide to take this module, we are going to offer that in semester 1. And with engineering insurance, if you are going to use this as an elective with your compulsory, this is only going to be offered in semester 2. And then another elective also, if you do decide to choose it, is marine insurance, which is on offer in semester 1. And then I will be the lecturer on that one. And I'm very excited if you're here to join us that we can, be part of this journey. Go to the next slide, please, Kelly. Some of the last electives, the last 3 that is being offered. This one, aviation insurance. We're also going to go into a little bit about the detail, what you need to know there, and what is the aviation insurance about. This is being offered in semester 2. I will be your lecturer there. And then the last 2, which Marissa is going to handle, she is your lecturer there, and also going to talk a little bit about that. It's part of the elective, which you're going to choose, which you either will obviously choose with your compulsory modules. Is Introduction to Underwriting, a very interesting one. This is actually, I want to say, lack for a better word, Insurance 101. We go into a little bit detail what is expected from underwriting, how you need to go about that, but we can talk about that a little bit later. This is being offered in semester 1. And then lastly, the last elective, that you need to choose with your compulsory, or that you can choose with your compulsory, is the relationship management in short-term insurance. And Marissa is the lecturer there, and that is being offered and made available in semester 2. So those are the modules of the higher certificate in short-term insurance that is on offer. You have your 4 compulsory, and then you have elective of any 2 that you can choose then. We can go to the next slide, please. So what's interesting about us as MyMedPack here is that we've made available this module. If you're going to enroll for it, it's distance learning. And I mean, you would agree with me, everybody, that it's the, that the way that technology is moving, and we have to adapt with it. You can basically, if you are going to enroll for this module, you can basically do it, or it's accessible from anywhere in the world, whether you're sitting in the middle of the Sahara Desert, whether you're in Iceland, whether you're in Gauteng, wherever you are, you can actually do it wherever you are in the world, as long as you have your laptop or a PC and your connectivity to the internet. Bob's your uncle, as they say. So this is very interesting. You can work on your own pace. Obviously, we're not going to leave you alone. We're still going to hold your hand, and we're going to guide you, and we're going to give you the necessary support that you need. But you can actually do it in the comfort of your home, or whether you decide to do it during the day in your lunch hour or afterwards. This is distance learning. You can actually do it on your own pace here. So we as MyMedPack, we make use of an on-learning platform, what we call MyMedPack. And on the next slide, we will go into that little bit of detail. This is just to assist you as a student, to guide you through the course material and to provide the necessary support. Because once again, like I say, although you're doing it in distance learning, although we're not physically in a class, we still have your back. We're still going to assist you. We're still going to have the support. You're going to have support of the program manager. You're going to have support of a lecturer. You're going to have support of a back office. So we'll always be there to support you, as long as you just do what is expected then, and the necessary courses that you have to finish in the required time. So the course is basically, or the exams and the assignments, what we refer to as the formative and the assessment and the summative assessment. Your formative is basically just your assignment, which you are then expected then to do normally an online test, and then you have to submit an assignment also. That is also being done online. But don't worry too much about the detail now. We will guide you through the process once we get there. Then obviously the summative assessment is, if you can just quickly go back, Michaela, the summative assessment is the one where we do it via proctored. Because once again, with the pandemic that hit us last year, we obviously had to adapt. We don't have the physical venues where we actually sit in the exam room. So the exams are being done online, and it's by a proctored, basically in the comfort of your home, or wherever you feel that you want to write the exam. Once again, you can write the exam anywhere in the world, as long as you have connectivity and your PC and your laptop. So the summative assessment, which is your actual exam, is normally being divided into a part A and a part B. The part A is normally your multiple choice questions, or you'll have a true and a false. And the part B is normally where we give you a case study, where you physically just have to, in a paragraph form, or where you physically have to type out your feedback or your answers. But that is being monitored via proctored. So you can do it online, but all the information, and once we get there, we can go into a little bit about the detail there. The formative assessment, like I said, is your assignment. We will require then from you to at least submit an assignment, and you'll see that the assignment, the formative assessment, contributes to 30% of your final mark. That is basically just so that we know that you have at least an understanding, that you've gone through your module, that you know what is expected from you, that you know what the module is all about, that we don't just want you to walk into the exam environment and just write the exam. So you are then going to have to do an assignment, which is going to be online, and then there will be one where you submit, so that we can just have an idea, so that to assist you to see that you actually understand what the module is about. Then lastly, the exam that you have to complete a final summative exam at the end of each semester, and that will count towards 70% of your final mark. But I don't want to go into too much detail. Once you've enrolled for the course, all that information will be made available for you. And then if you have any questions regarding that, and then we can talk a little bit in detail about that. Obviously, at the end of the day, in order to pass the exam, you are going to be required then to have a pass mark of 50%, please, then pass the exams. We'll go to the next slide. So, like I said earlier, this is the MyMedPack. It's basically just an example of how the online system is going to look, or how the look and feel is of the MyMedPack. Like I said, we are there to support you. You're not going to be left alone. And this is actually brilliant, especially with online. So once you've registered with us, you'll be given a student number and you'll be given access to MyMedPack. This is just an example. I've used the example here of the commercial lines insurance. If you are then going to take, let's say in the semester, in the first year, you're going to take your commercial lines insurance. Each module will obviously have its own page where you could go in and will have access on the information about the module is about. So on top of the screen, it will normally look similar to this. You'll have the overview, you'll have the content, and like I said, the formative, there you will have the summative exam. That summative exam is also when you are going to write your online exam. This is also where you're going to go into the system where you're going to write your proctored online exam. Then also there is a tab for live at MedPack, any information that we're going to share there, and the support material also. And then if need be, if there's a supplementary exam, if you haven't passed the exam and if you qualify for the supplementary exam, this will also be on the same tab here. So this is basically just to give you an idea of how the page is going to look. It will basically give you the information on your the lecturer, a little bit of background of the lecturer, the qualification documents, and also a nice tab here or a nice link here is that not only will you have the support of your lecturers or the program manager and the background staff, but you also can connect with your fellow students. You'll see there's a link which you just click on and it will reach out to your fellow students if you need to work either as a group or if you need some information on the module, or if you feel that you don't want to necessarily maybe chat with the lecturer, you can maybe reach out and see who your fellow students are as well. So this is just a look and feel of how the online system or the MyMedPack is going to look once you've registered for it. You can go to the next slide, please. So basically, this is still on the same page, but obviously, if you just scroll down on the page, we have a tab, what we call the announcements. Underneath that is the course announcement. So any course announcements, anything that needs to be communicated to you from us as lecturers or the program manager or whoever needs to, from MedPack needs to make an announcement there, you will find the information there, whether it's just to remind you of your assignment date, whether it's just you should put up for your exam, whether it's just to say, listen, be on the lookout this, or maybe if there's something that you want to bring under your attention, all the information with regards to the course announcement or the course of the module will be communicated there. Another interesting thing is tutorial letters, or anything that we as the tutors, as lecturers feel that we need to communicate with you, we will post it there. You'll see there's something about the activation, who you can contact as the lecturer of the tutorial, the assignments, what the steps that you need to follow in order to submit the assignments, and then obviously also the tutorial letter on the exam. The exam would also go a little bit in detail about the exam rules, how you do your proctored exam, and what you need to do when you are going to be ready to write the exam also. Underneath that, and this is a very important thing also, is the study plan. Once again, we're not going to leave you alone, guys. I want to emphasize this, everybody, that although it's distance online learning there, MedPack will always have your back here. Although you are going to work on your own pace, what we normally do for each module is also we've drawn up a study plan. Now, the study plan is basically just to guide you and to see where you are with your modules, just to give an idea, am I still on track? For lack of a better word here, it's basically a tracker to see, listen, so by the end of third or the fourth week, I need to finish topic 2, 3, and 4. So we will load the study plan there as well, and that will give you an idea and to prepare you for your assignments and to prepare you for the exam. And that will give you an idea where you are with your studies as well. And once again, if there's any further questions, you can always reach out to us as well. We can go to the last page, please, Kyla. The tutor support, like I said earlier, if you have any questions regarding a module, there's a tutor support, a tutor forum, what we call. So so you can load any technical questions that you have with the module. If there's maybe, for instance, a specific topic that you're not sure about, or it's a question in the assignment that you would like to get more information, there you can post your questions on the tutor forum. And on a daily basis, we as lecturers, we will go into the tutor and we will answer those questions between 24 and 48 hours. Obviously, if it's something very technical, and if we can't give you the answer immediately, we will definitely reach out and get the necessary answer for you. But any technical questions that you have, you can post there, and that is being monitored on a daily basis, on a regular basis, to make sure that we get back to you as soon as possible, because we don't want you to struggle. We don't want you to sit there and wonder, listen, nobody's assisting me. what does this mean? Yeah, so that tutor forum is basically there for all those kind of technical questions on a specific module on a topic where we can assist you as the lecturers and the tutors also. Then also further down, you'll see the online the proctoring. This is more as we get towards now the assignments and the exams. There it will all the information with regards to the proctoring, what you need to know about the proctoring exam and how that is being done. Because like I said earlier, we don't write as in the traditional venue. All of this is being done online and all the information is there. There's even a little tutorial video that will guide you on how to do your proctored exam. So we will never leave you alone. And obviously, when we have our discussion sessions and the exam prep, we as lecturers, we will also guide you through the process, that we don't have to worry about how am I going to do it. So once you step into that exam environment, you know exactly what is expected from you. And then lastly on this page is what we call the Hello MyMedPack. I don't think you guys know the Hello Peter, and I hope it's not going to be the case if you're going to make use of this. But if it does come to that, we have a tab or a link, what we call Hello MyMedPack. So if you're not happy with the assistance, within the time provided from a tutor or a lecturer or anybody at MyMedPack that you feel you just want to raise and bring it down our attention, then you can post it there in Hello MyMedPack, and somebody will definitely get back to you as soon as possible there that we can attend to it. So that's basically, everybody, the distance onlining, and that's the look and feel of how the page is going to be on your MyMedPack. So all the information is there. Everything that is relevant to the module will be loaded on there. Now, without any further ado, I want to hand you over to the lovely Tracy Joseph. She is the program manager, and Tracy will just talk a little bit what her role is and where she basically fits into the module. So Tracy, over to you. Thank you very much.
Good morning, everybody. Thank you very much for making the time to join us today. This is my first time doing an online session, so I'm just a little bit nervous, but I'll do my best. I've been with MyMedPack this is my 7th year. I started as a tutor administrator, so that Wesley was referring to when you post on the tutor forum, I would be the person who dealt with that. I've kind of grown with the company. I see myself in this position as somebody who is accessible to all our learners. So I try my best. If you email me today, I will try to email you back as quickly as possible. And if I don't, I will say, hey, look, I can't respond right now, but I'll get back to you. If I don't know the answer, I will find the answer. I will find somebody who can help me to give you the answer. So I just like the learners to really feel that there is somebody there is somebody that's going to assist you. I'm mostly here for the non-academic queries. So nothing about your textbooks and your study guides and so on, but if there's something that you just need to understand, how does it work? Where can I find more information? I can guide you in your fact sheet. I can guide you if you've missed your exams, what you need to do, those types of things. Even if you just feel like, look, I'm struggling a little bit, this module is hard, what are the options that are available to me? I'll be there to kind of give you some advice on what to do and what steps are available to you. Yeah, if we can move on to the next slide, please. How I look at the program is just, I'm happy to see that learners can start out on the NQF 5 and move on from there to NQF 6, NQF 7. I've seen quite a few learners who start out with MyMedPack on the NQF 5, and I've watched them complete their journey. And that's been exciting to see people, because we always obviously want to grow and improve ourselves in our careers. So that's been sort of a highlight for me. I mean, just on a bit of a personal front, I'm a mom of 2 boys. I got into education purely by, not luck. I don't think it's luck. It just kind of happened. I think I studied a few things. I studied public relations. I studied languages. I studied conferencing and events. And I think what I do now kind of is a culmination. I put a lot of what I've learned over the years into my job. I think it needs me to be highly organized. Most of the time, I do think I am quite organized. and it's been to my benefit. And yeah, I'm a traveler. I look forward to being outside, to getting in the car, taking my kids, my husband, and just seeing what is out there. I look forward to when COVID is really done, so that we can make some big plans and travel. And why we're telling you this is just because oftentimes I think we feel, maybe you as the learner, you are on the other side of your PC and you feel like, is there actually somebody there? And like Wesley's been telling you, we are here, you know, and today you get to see our faces. For some of you, I'm sure you know the names, you've been in touch with us, but now you see us. And so maybe it makes us more relatable, it makes us more real. You can put a name and a face together and know that, hey, look, Tracy's there, Wesley's there, and they're here to help us along as we go on our journey. Okay, so if we can just move to the next slide, please, Michaela. The admission requirements for the higher certificate in short-term insurance is fairly simple. You have to have your matric, the national senior certificate, and you have to have 40% in English, and that's about it. We want you to be able to not worry too much about getting the A's and the B's and the C's, but just want to get you onto that journey of getting into the insurance field, getting your foot in the door, and this qualification is for that. And even if you feel like you don't have that, you didn't finish your matric, we've got a process which is explained on the next slide. It's called the RPL process, whereby you can just send us a CV, and we'll look at your CV. We'll see what you've done, and we'll look to see how best we can guide you, whether we can assist you on getting onto the higher certificate in short-term insurance, or if there's anything else that we can direct you in. So it's a matter of we want to be alongside you. We want to help you to get to where you need to be. So if you're uncertain, I'm the person that you'll get in contact with. If you don't get through to a student advisor, you can drop me a mail, and I'll be able to give you a bit more information. I'll be able to send you some fact sheets if that's what you need, or just to clarify something for you in terms of what it is that you would need to get onto our program. And if we can just move on to the next slide, please. It's just regarding when you're on the actual qualification, we have some, not criteria, I think it's not cast in stone at the moment, but it's when you register, we will give you some advice in terms of how we want you to do the modules in the order that we'd like for you to do them in. And this has been decided by the academics who are more in touch with the industry and know what the progression should be and why you need to follow it in that order. So yeah, you can see that you need to start with personal lines. If you're only going to do one module, that would be the first module that you want to do. And I know sometimes learners say, yes, but I'm working in engineering and I want to do this module first. Unfortunately, we will stipulate that personal lines will be the first module that you need to do. If you're doing more than one module, there's a stipulation that it would be personal lines and an elective. And that would speak to what Wesley explained to you about the elective modules. And if you want to do 3 modules, it would also be personal lines, an elective, and then legal framework. And it's not because we're trying to be nasty, it's just what we feel works for the learners. And also as a program manager, what I'd like to encourage you or want you to remember when you're registering for your modules is that sometimes it's nice, you see, okay, I'm just going to do 3 modules because my company is going to pay for my 6 modules. But just remember that you've got 3 years within which to do your qualification. So you don't have to feel like you need to finish everything in a year. Life gets busy. You're a parent, you're sitting at work, you've got to juggle all the balls. So sometimes it's okay. You can space them out as well and get them done in maybe 2 years or a year and a half. Because the worst thing that you don't want to register for 6 modules and in your mind you think I'm going to finish them in a year, and after the first semester, you realize that you've bitten off a bit more than you can chew. So that is something that I've learned over the years, and that if learners ask me, it is something that I generally do direct them to. I say, look at your life before you decide and just register or bite off more than you can chew. It's okay to take one module at a time, even, or 2 modules at a time, and then you go from there. Okay. And then, like, once your qualification is completed, you will get from MyMedPack your higher certificate in short-term insurance. It's on NQF 5, and it's 120 credits. The completion of the NQF 5 will then allow you to move on to the advanced certificate in short-term insurance, if that is what you want to do. Or you can also move on to the BCom in short-term insurance. If you move on to our BCom in short-term insurance, you would be able to get 3 credits for modules that you already completed on your higher certificate in short-term insurance. But once again, if you are uncertain, it is a matter of sending an email, picking up the phone and saying, hey, Tracy, I'm nearly done. This is what I want to do going forward. Are there any credits that I can get? What do you recommend? And I will do my best to assist you in that regard. Okay, and then just the last slide from me is, if you didn't know, there is some funding that you can make application for with Capitec. For those who are learners with us currently, you would know that we have payment plans available to learners, whereby they can register for a module and you get 3 or 4 months whereby you can pay off that module. But now what is also available, and this is available via Capitec Bank, is where you can apply for a loan, and you will go through the whole process with Capitec, and they'd be able to help you with the funding for your studies with MyMedPack. So that is just something that's very important that we want to bring to your attention, because we know studies are not cheap, but we do need them to kind of forge our futures and help us out with that. And so just to let you know that Capitec is there, and they are also ready and waiting for you guys to make contact with them and see how best they can help you. And so that's it from me. Like I said, I'm readily available. I try to be accessible to all the learners. Now, for some of you who've never seen me, here I am. And yeah, that's it from me. Thanks, guys.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Tracy. Well, guys, we've come to the first half of our session. We're going to open up for any questions that you might have for Wesley or Marissa or Tracy, or for what they've spoken about. I see there is 1 or 2 questions. They're a bit more detailed. We might keep them for the end. But if there's any sort of hot, off the top of your head questions that you want to ask, now's the time. I just want to remind you guys of that Capitec deal, guys. It's awesome. Go to our website. There is a tab at the top of the screen when you go to our website that says Get Study Funding, and there's a link there, and it has an estimator and everything. It's amazing. So go have a look there. And admissions are closing, guys, on the 9th of July. I'm not sure if anybody saw that at the bottom of the slide. It might have been hidden. But the 9th of July is the due date for admissions. They are closing then. So please, if you are planning on studying with us still this year, which you can do so, please do apply by then. So before we sort of dive into any detailed questions, I think we can sort of hand over to the team to walk through the modules and tell us more. Tell us more about the modules themselves, personal lines. I'm very interested in hearing more about that module, so I'll hand over to you guys.
Thank you, Michaela. I'm just going to talk a little bit about what's on offer on the different modules. I can just go to the first one. So the personal lines is one of the compulsory modules that if you're going to enroll with us. Sorry, I just want to go back firstly. Sorry, apologies for that. So the first one that we're going to talk about is the personal lines insurance. So if we can just talk a little bit in detail about this. Personal lines insurance for me personally is actually near and dear to my heart. And being in the industry now, it's a very interesting one, because, like I said also earlier, this is actually the basic about short-term insurance 101. So what does this module actually do? What is the aim of this module here, everybody? The aim is basically provide you as a student just with the understanding of the general principles of the underlying personal insurance, that you have an idea of how you can advise the client, what are the nature and the structure of the different personal lines insurance. If a client comes to you and say, I have my house here, I have my car, how do I go about insuring that? If you're an underwriter there, if you have claims, how do you handle that? What are the different processes that you look at? If you sit in front of your client, the client asks you in a proposal form or gives you information, what are those necessary and the important information that you need to complete on the proposal form, as maybe, for example, as a broker, that you can give to the underwriter, the insurer, to actually see if they can give cover for the client. So that is basically, when we go into much detail there, we have a discussion, we have some interesting technical questions coming out of that. So that is basically, in a nutshell, what the personal lines insurance is basically all about, and especially also knowing about the claims processes, because I can tell you this much, in the real world, and some of you might have experienced this, especially in short-term insurance, when it comes to the claims processes, a lot of people refer to that as the window of the insurance company. If your claims processes is not going smoothly and well, if you don't keep your client up to date, if you don't give them the right advice, there might be some misunderstanding there. So that's where we talk about that. We make use of practical examples in the market as well. Another compulsory module is the risk management one. This one is also very interesting. Like I said earlier, this is also more for if you're going to be an underwriter, for if you're underwriting a risk, if you're a surveyor. We go into the general principles of risk management. What is the concept of risk management? We also identify the different risks. We evaluate the risk, and what are the controls that you put in place to actually manage that risk at the end of the day. We also look at the different risk exposures. Let's say if there's a factory, if it's they making wood furniture, what are sort of the factors and the risk factors that you're going to look at if you are going to underwrite something like that. The process is something for instance, what's the housekeeping of the factory? What are the procedures if there's a fire that might start, or if the building is going to, we've started a fire and it's going to burn down? What are those the procedures of the staff and the people working in the factory? What do they need to do in order to get them to safety? So we actually go into detail there, and we discuss about the risk management of a certain risk, which is actually very, very nice and exciting as well. Go to the next one, please, Michaela. Commercial lines insurance. This is basically if you are going to underwrite, or if you are going to do the insurance for a business. This is also very interesting. Sort of, don't want to say hand in hand with personal lines insurance, but if you have the foundation of personal lines insurance, it's more or less that you go into the commercial lines. Here we're also going to talk about what the general principles underlying of commercial lines insurance is. Once again, the nature and structure of commercial lines insurance. If a business, a company, owner of a shopping mall comes and say, hey, listen, Mr. Broker, listen, insurer, please help me with this. We built this new building here. What are the procedures? What are you going to expect from me if I'm going to insure the building here? Surveyor walks in there, he has a look at the building, say, what do we need to do here to actually underwrite the risk here? We're also going to look once again at the claims processes. It's very important that you need to understand that and to equip you. So the purpose of this module is basically, and the aim of this module is to give you the necessary information, the advice that you can actually apply that in the real world. And we're also going to go in much detail in the commercial lines. Once again, what is interesting about this module, we make use of practical and examples, and that is also being noted in your study guide as such. Legal framework, it's a very important one here, guys. Like I said at the beginning of the presentation, it's not only important that you need to know what the product is about, what is an offer on the product, but you need to know the legal aspects of it. When you're sitting there as a financial planner or a broker, you're doing your financial needs analysis. What do you need to be compliant? Because as you know, the FSCA expects of us to adhere to these regulations and compliance, and that we need to follow everything. We need to keep a record on that. So we're going to go into various pieces of legislation that are applicable to the short-term insurance environment in South Africa, and we once again touch on practical examples there as well. Go to the next one. Aviation insurance. This one is up and coming, and what we've noticed is not a lot of the students tend to, it's a elective one, it's not a compulsory one, not a lot of students tend to take this one, but it's a very interesting, I'm very excited about doing this aviation insurance also. Yeah, we also go into detail, especially with what's been happening with the drones, what's been happening with the liability aspects of it. If a client approaches you and say, I've got this helicopter, I've got this private jet that I want to insure, that you need to know at least the basic here, that if you're an underwriter, what sort of information, what are the questions that you're going to ask the client, that you can actually underwrite that. It also explores the market developments. That's important that we go into detail there. The categories of the aircraft operations. What do you need to do if you're getting your pilot's license? What are the consequences if you're not going to apply that or use that or work according to what is expected from you? We're also going to a little bit in detail about the international and the local aviation law, because that's very important if you're going to do some imports and exports as well, which couples a little bit with the marine insurance, that you need to know what are the risk factors there, the insurance products available that you can actually give to your client if they are going to ask you for the aviation insurance, which is a very interesting one, especially on the drone one, with a lot of the drones that are being, you need to go, you have to have your drone pilot license. If that drone maybe, using it there, is it for leisure or is it to use a business or in the business to do a survey? If that thing flies against somebody, or if that thing hurts, injures somebody, if that thing flies against a car or a building, what are the implications on that? So we go into detail on that, and once again, practical examples are being used there as well. On the business management module, I'm just quickly going to hand over to Marissa, because that's her part. So Marissa, if you can just quickly tell us a little bit about the business management there.
Okay. Yes, no problem. Thank you so much, Wesley. Guys, so yes, business management, the module is offered in both semesters, and I'm the lecturer for that, and I'm very excited about it. Wesley explained earlier to you guys how the summative is made up. So this is the one exception to the rule where you will not be technically writing a closed book exam. This is a summative hand-in, so it is a very big project that you will hand in to us. So this module then gives you the principles relating to how the business of a short-term insurance brokerage is put together. So if you want to one day open your own brokerage, this is the module that you need to take. We will take you through HR, the planning of how you put everything together, the legislations, and all of those things. So it is a very exciting module. It is very nice, and you learn a lot, especially if you want to open your own company. Thank you, Wesley.
Thanks. If we go to the next slide, Michaela. Then one of the electives also is construction insurance. This is also a very, very interesting one. And we also, if necessary, we try to bring in some practical examples, some experts in the field to come and talk about this. Once again, if a client asks you, client comes to you and say, hey, I want to build a bridge here. What are those sort of steps that you are going to look at? What are the underwriting guidelines that you are going to look at that to offer and assist the client in order to go to insurer and say, listen, my client wants to build a bridge here. We've got a new shopping mall here. I want to build this building here. What are those implications or information that you need? So the construction insurance will actually equip you and provide you with an understanding of what is expected. We're also going to do a bit of the analysis of the different types of construction insurance, and we actually go into detail there, what are those factors that have an effect on that when a contractor is building, factors like what time of year is the building going to be built? What are those factors that can have a negative influence on the building? Is the structure secure? Liability aspects. Why the building there? That thing could maybe tumble and fall to adjacent buildings. So we find out, and we go into detail there to see how you are going to advise the client if something does happen in that. It also explains the roles and the responsibilities of the parties involved, whether it's the insurer, the broker, the client, the contractor, or anybody that's involved in the contract of a construction there. So, and we also, once again, like I said, we are going to talk a little bit also about the liability of each party. Engineering insurance is also an elective that is offered in semester 2. If you are going to elect to go into engineering insurance, also a very interesting one. We also see up and coming businesses, or maybe it could be a school where they have a whole lot of PCs, a whole lot of laptops that's valued 5, 6, 7, 10 million rand. That's where your engineering insurance also comes in. If you need to import a machine from, let's say, USA, China, or Germany, wherever, what are those things that I need to advise my client when it comes to the machine being assembled overseas, when it comes via this is where marine insurance also comes in a little bit with the aviation insurance. How is that going to fit in once that machine comes here to South Africa, to the harbor? It needs to be transported from the harbor to wherever the client is, and it needs to be assembled again in goods in transit. If that thing falls and breaks, what are the implications? So we go into a little bit in detail there also, which is very exciting. And then also, if you are maybe a claims clerk in the engineering field, you need to know what the necessary documentation that you require in order to assist the client and to finalize a claim. Tend to go into the practical examples there as well. We can go to the next slide, please, Pamela. Then I'm just quickly going to head over again to Marissa, because this is she's the lecturer for the Introduction to Underwriting. Marissa, just a little bit about that module.
Yes, thank you, Wesley. This is also a module that I'm very passionate about. I ended my corporate career as a senior technical underwriter, so I love underwriting. I love, delving into surveys and underwriting a policy properly to always protect the insurance company or the UMA for whoever you work with. So in this module, we go into the basic principles of insurance, and I know when you do study with us, you will sort of get a little bit sick of the basic insurance principles, but because they are so important, we hammer them in and give you the different concepts and how they all come together in this module, how they then do relate to underwriting. So in this module, we also go through what an underwriter does in a day. Is it endorsements? Is it sessions? Is it whatever it may be, additions? So we do that. And then a big component of this module is then how to underwrite a personal or a commercial lines policy, the rates that you will use, and all those type of things. So it's a very exciting module, and I really enjoy teaching it. Back to you, Wesley.
Thank you very much, Marissa. So one of the last electives before I hand over for the last module to Marissa is also marine insurance. Very, very interesting also, this one. This one is offered as an elective, and it's normally in the semester 1 of every year if you do decide to take it. I will be your lecturer going forward to the marine insurance. Now, the aim of this module is, once again, also, although we're going to go into detail, we're not going to go in that much detail, because we basically just want you to have basic knowledge of marine insurance so that you can actually handle, as a broker, once again, if you are in the short-term insurance field where there's an underwriter, and once again, in claims, whether you're manager of an underwriter or a call center, if a client approaches you with a marine query, that you at least know the basic. I'm being reminded, I actually stayed in Durban for about 2.5 years, and I can tell you that much. Normally in the coastal areas, you tend to get, a lot of queries from people importing stuff there, especially the students that's in the coastal area. I would actually encourage you to, if you are going to take elective, maybe try and see if you can take marine insurance, because we get quite a lot of queries for the on the coastal areas, that if a client approaches you, say, I have this specific product or a machine that I want to import, what are the processes that I have to follow? That you just need to have that basic understanding also. We also explore the economic and physical geographic affecting the major seaports. So that's important, that you need to know what those limits are and the ports of the sea, that you can understand and give the client advice on how that is going to have effect on the risk and the businesses as such. Also very important is the commercial practice for international trade, the regulations, and the liability regarding sea trade. And that's where the Marine Insurance Act basically comes in, of 1906, that you need to know what is that Marine Insurance Act is about. That's where the legislation part actually comes in. What are the responsibility of those carriers, and what are the insurable interests while that cargo is on sea? If something that's a ship should sink and the cargo gets lost, what are the claim that the insurer is going to pay at the end of the day? So that's where the underwriting and the claim practices comes in again, and obviously the different types of marine cover that you can actually have. So we are going to talk a little bit about that if you do decide to take this module also. And if we can just go to the last one, Michaela, where I'm just going to ask then Marissa just to talk a little bit about the relationship management and short-term insurance. Over to you, Marissa.
Thank you so much, Wesley. And guys, I do apologize for the lights going off constantly. I'm in one of these eco-friendly buildings currently, so if I don't move enough, the lights go off. Okay, so guys, relationship management, it's a very, in my opinion, it's a very important thing that you need to understand, especially if you want to, in the insurance company, grow, go from an underwriter to become a consultant. And this module will then teach you how to handle relationships, how to handle conflict, how to handle negotiations, how do you measure people, how do you measure people's personalities and their emotions, and how to approach those people that you have then analyzed, because all of us are different, but there are certain things that you can map and measure out and say, you know what, Wesley, for instance, I can't go and just bombard him with facts. We have to have I need to approach him in a different sense. So that is what you learn in this module. It is very interesting. It is case study based, so we give you case studies. If anyone is so we'll give you an upset broker or whatever the case may be, and then ask you how you will handle that. So guys, that is then all the modules that we have on the higher certificate in short-term insurance. And on the next slide, I have some very, very exciting news. And this is MyMedPack Insurance Nerd Day. It is our pride and joy for this year. What we will do is on the 16th of July. So technically, MyMedPack the Insurance Nerd Day, it is a day in the year. Actually, it's an official day. It is every year on the 18th of July. But the 18th of July is a Sunday. So on the Friday, we will be coming together on this platform again. We will send you out more information. So if you want more information on that, please let us know. But you can also follow us on all the social media. We will be posting there as well. It will be extravaganza. We're going to have a quiz, and everyone is going to participate, and we will have then a final winner who will be crowned the MyMedPack Insurance Nerd of the Year. So we will be doing this every year, and we are planning to roll it out, well, hopefully globally. I'm always a little bit optimistic. Yes. So please join us for that. It is going to be a phenomenal event. We have a lot of partners, so the IISA is on board, the CII is on board, and we have a new special project people that's also on board, which we will communicate to you guys shortly, so please keep an eye out for that as well. Then, is there any questions? I saw there was one question from Cornelia. It was actually Tracy that had to answer it, but I see we have lost her, where she asked, I've completed 3 subjects on the higher certificate, marine and aviation risk management. Am I correct to say only 3 compulsory modules left? So Cornelia, yes, that is technically what it should be, but just remember you do have a set time frame that you need to complete your qualification. But I will ask if you can maybe just on the poll, just say get in contact with us, and Tracy will have a look and get back to you on that.
Awesome. So we have got Tracy back, but I think that is the guiding line for as we end sort of towards the last questions in the session, guys. If you have any questions for us that you need more detail on, you want to know more about us, how much do these modules cost? Where do I apply? What's the next steps? Please click yes on the poll, and we'll get one of our lovely advisors to assist you, and hopefully we'll get you sorted and on board with us for semester 2. As we close off, guys, if there's any more questions for our lovely team, please do ask them now. Just to remind everybody, the session is recorded, so if you think, I need to come back and I need to remember something, don't panic. This isn't a test to see how your long-term memory works. We do record each session, and it is available on exactly the same link. So if you come back here later, it will be here for your viewing pleasure. We'll also be posting this on YouTube as well, so keep an eye on our socials. We usually repost just in case anybody missed it. But for now, if there's any other questions, I invite you to ask them now in our Ask a Question facility. Thank you so much to Marissa for answering that one. And yes, guys, it's been a fantastic session this morning. I have certainly learned a lot about the program. It's been fantastic to hear from Wesley and from Marissa and from Tracy. Guys, it's been awesome to see behind the scenes of a program and to meet you guys, and obviously for everybody listening on the call to just put a name to the face and face to the name, whichever way around you haven't encountered us. And yes, we really are excited to partner with you on your learning journey. I think that's what I want to leave you guys with, is our messaging is, partnering with you, an extraordinary life, partnering with you on your learning journey. We do want to say that everybody's lives are extraordinary. We want to partner with you on your learning part of your journey to make it awesome and beautiful and fantastic. And I'm sure if anybody's interested, they'd pop a yes in the poll and we'll get in contact with them. So guys, from my side, it's been awesome. Is there any other final comments you'd like to say from Marissa, Wesley, or Tracy?
Yes.
Now is the time.
I just want to say, sorry, I wanted to say something earlier, but luckily Michaela reminded me now, is that your journey with MyMedPack, it is a journey, because we start you off, we can do the COB, the CPDs, and then take you through the whole journey with us. So just one more thing on the hire certificate, if you do personal and legal framework, like Tracy suggests, the first 2 modules, that will also constitute your COB for personal lines. So you don't have to do that separately. You can do the hire, so you can go straight onto the hire certificate and get that with us as well.
Yeah. Awesome. Wadia says, well done, and thank you for an informative session. Thank you so much, Wadia. I found it informative. I mean, I'm sitting in marketing, but I think in my second life, I'm going to come back and learn something about short-term insurance from you guys, definitely. So yeah, anything from Wesley or Tracy you want to leave the audience with? Any final comments?
Thank you for everybody's time. It was really, I also enjoyed it. And I'm looking forward to meeting you guys in semester 2. Hopefully that you can join us on this journey. I'm very excited, but thank you very much. I appreciate it.
Yes, awesome. Tracy, any last thoughts?
Just thanks again, guys, for joining us.
Yes, awesome. And don't forget, guys, we have another session or a couple more sessions still coming up in the week. We are talking about the advanced certificate, so one up from this on Thursday. Very exciting. We'll be back here together to talk about that. But tomorrow we are chatting with the guys from the advanced certificate in financial planning, and then on Friday we'll do the postgrad in financial planning. So if you are in that queue, that is where you need to come. But we do invite you to attend all, and to remind you, there are some exciting prizes to be won if you've been watching live, which is awesome. And we've got a Take a Lot voucher and some things to give away. So do join us live. You might just get lucky and get a little bit of an extra early Christmas gift, a 6-month early Christmas gift. But yes, it's been awesome to have all of you with me today, and to have all of the lecturers and program manager with me today. I really appreciate it. And from now, I'm going to say thank you so much, and I'm going to wave, because I always wave at the end of my sessions, and say thanks so much for joining me, guys, and I hope you have a fantastic day further. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.